Hello, I'm filming a week in review of my training sessions from the last week. The first session would be my Thursday session, 255 for 10. That went without a hitch. That went very smooth, very strong. Then that transitioned into a double with 190 kilos. That went very smooth. Felt a little bit off positionally, but felt solid. Then a triple with 315 kilos. That didn't feel fantastic, but I was trying to film a video, and so I was overthinking my grip a little bit because the idea of the video was to hold the deadlift after the fact and kiss my girlfriend, which went perfectly fine. But because I was overthinking my grip on every rep because I wanted to make sure I was going to be able to hold it well at the end, I think I wasn't as confident and it wasn't as pulling as aggressively as I might have otherwise. So moving into today's session, actually, the following Thursday, looking at last week's session, I'm going to squat, hopefully 275 kilos, 606 pounds for 6 reps. So increase in weight by 10 kilos, dropping it down by 4 reps. We'll see how that goes. I might do something like 7 or 2 sets of 6. We'll see how it goes all in all. But that'll be later on. On bench, depending how I'm feeling, I'm either gonna retake the double at 190, maybe 192.5, maybe 195 if I'm feeling pretty strong. As I said, I haven't been feeling fantastic on bench, so I'll really take it as it comes and make a decision based on how I'm feeling and not really try to push. More focus on making sure I get good attempts in, good training in. 190, another 190 double would be more than enough, more than good. Especially I'm on now a little bit worse equipment. Then the squat, the deadlift, I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to take a considerable jump from the 315 for 3. Despite the 315 for 3 maybe not visually looking the best, I'm still hoping to aim for 325 to 330, leaning towards 330 in all honesty. I'm an equipment that I prefer. I'm in a space that and more variables are controlled for. And so I think that if I'm feeling good on deadlifts, I'll take that. And if it's only a double, even if it's only a single, I'm kind of okay with that if it goes kind of bad, just because it's big weights in my hands and then I have time to deload and re-peak for singles coming into my next comp. So I'm very likely going to just take the 330 and just see how it goes. And I'm hoping that I feel strong and I'm able to execute well. Then the following day, last week, on the Friday, then I tried to do a 255 single into a 285 single, or that was kind of, if the 255 moved well, then I would do a 285. 255 didn't feel fantastic, so I decided against the 285, and so I just did a 2x2, which was always the plan at 230 kilos. And all in all, that session moved about how as I expected it to. I would have had to feel very confident to go up to 285 and to pick the heavier weight there. And so I'm actually quite happy with my decision to just go based on that feeling and to trust the plan that I would only go up if I felt fantastic. So I'm glad that I'm sort of correctly modulating how I'm feeling, especially now that I am doing 6 SBD days per week. This week, on that Friday, I'm gonna change it to just being a very simple 3x3 200 recovery because of the very demanding Thursday training. I think aiming for anything other than that being my lightest day on squat or deadlift is kind of a mistake. I'd have to feel very well or very good after this training to do anything other than that. And last week I didn't feel great, and so it's wrong of me to assume that I'll feel anything other than a little bit weak tomorrow. But that can almost be expected because I'm going to be doing something quite crazy today. Then that Friday bench was a 4x10 at 150. That went without a hitch. A little bit of wibbly actually, but I felt strong. I had my rack height at 9. I kind of missed a re-rack a couple times. Just wasn't feeling fantastic, but I was also using a rack that's a little bit crooked in that gym. So I don't know exactly what the main problem was, but all I know is bench has been feeling strong, but weird, and I need to work on that. And so it stays 4x10 this week, of course. Then on deadlifts, I did something I really liked and I think actually helped me later in the weeks, which was a 3x8 touch and go 190 deadlift, which is the lightest I've deadlifted as top work for the day in a very, very long time, of course, since I was practically a kid, since I was like 16. And so 193 by 8 touch and go, and that really, I was focusing on keeping my positions, touching the floor, opening up my hips, and it felt more like a hyperextension or mobility work on my hips, somewhere like a combination of the two, and it actually felt quite fantastic. And it's almost like training, but with a different intention, despite it being with a barbell. And that felt great. I'm looking forward to doing that again, very likely with the same weight, just 190 kilos, very simple and easy. Then that moves on to Saturday session from last week. Saturday session started off, of course, with squats. It was just a very simple, oh no, not a simple. It was 3 by 7 with 240 kilos on squats into, now what was the bench? Oh, whoa, I'm getting a bit, what did I do on bench? Oh, I remember. It was a board press with 200 kilos for a double, 441 pound double. And then it went into a deadlift of a 310 kilo pause triple. The squat went without much issue. Felt a little bit weird, but I kept it together. I think I had a little bit of cramping in my lower back. I went through all the warm-ups and the sets pretty quick. That cramping followed me into bench quite heavily, and that felt weird, but I still got it done without too much discomfort. And then deadlifts went surprisingly well considering lower back cramping. I didn't even feel it. It almost felt like the deadlifts helped recover the cramping just because of a different style of bracing for deadlifts than I do on squats or bench, of course. And with bench, you're arching into a lower back tightness, and that's not great. With deadlifts, you're more like not folding forward, but bracing forward and pulling up. So it took pressure. It almost felt like the deadlifts that day took pressure off my lower back, and the deadlifts went great. That was that Saturday. I think I'm very likely going to have a very similar Saturday, maybe a little bit lighter on the deadlift coming into the next Saturday. Maybe more like 300, because I'm also going to be going lighter on all my other sessions to pull back fatigue, to have it be an easy week 1. Then moving on to the Sunday. Sunday was squat 3 by 5, 210 kilos. That went without an issue. Likely going to just do 3 by 5 at 210 again next week. It's not a fatiguing session. It's very simple, just like going down up. The bench press was 4 sets of 3 with, top set of 4 with 175 kilos, and then 3 sets of 4 with 170 kilos. All of those went without issue. Very likely, despite that being sort of seemingly heavy or top work, very likely going to just keep that for the next week, for week 1. Wasn't a fatiguing session, went very simple. If that can go like that again, I'll feel very happy. Then on deadlifts, I did 4 sets of 3 pause with 290 kilos. That went very easy. I didn't even have to focus or at any level. And that gives me a lot of confidence that I can push that up to in the coming block. It's going to be lower this week. It's more like 280, but that I can build that up to 300, 305 for 4 sets of 3 in the coming weeks. That is a wrap for that Sunday session. Then the Monday, big squat day. I did 6 sets of 3 with 255 kilos. Another day with 255. I didn't get too dialed in, didn't get too focused. I was kind of having a bit of a fun day, just squatting, going through the motions. And I still did quite a comfortable 255, 6x3 paused, or hesitation, I should say. Feeling very good about that. Of course, I'm going to pull back that slightly into next week and then hopefully build it up. I'm looking towards doing with 265, 270 in the coming weeks. That would be quite fantastic if I'm able to pull it off. I think I said in my recap video of that session that if I'm able to do that, then I have a lot of confidence that I'll be able to PR my squat in the next competition. Bench that day was a single. I attempted 205, which it would have been an all-time PR gym training, in training, I should say, sorry. It moved off my chest very confidently. I felt pretty solid under the weight, but I lost a position or something, lost tightness, lost bracing, or I slid, or something happened that made it where I got into a position I just couldn't drive through out of. But the weight didn't feel particularly heavy in my hands. And considering that bench hasn't been feeling normal and my technique has been feeling a bit off, I'm not disappointed that I took a decently confident attempt at a PR, at an all-time PR. It gives me still a vote of confidence that if I can dial things in and get my normal technique together, that I'll feel very good on competition day in 4 weeks. That's the bench. I had a very speedy 197.5 leading up to that, which was one of the heaviest weights still that I've taken in training. So that still a very big confidence booster on bench, despite it not feeling fantastic, sort of. Then on deadlifts that day, the Monday, I did a 3 sets of 5 with 230 kilos mixed grip. Again, that just feels like recovery, feels just like a lower back pump, feels great, feels easy, go through the motions. Nothing really to say about that. And then that's a wrap for then the Monday, and then into the Tuesday, the squat was 3 sets of 6 with 210 kilos, no issue, just a simple session, just going through the motions. It feels like walking or like going for a bike ride, just as a simple, just easy exercise. The goal for those kinds of sessions is that it would just be a weight that I could wake up and take, just out of bed, just get out, okay, I'm squatting. And so that's how it moved. Very simple, very easy. The bench was a 4x7 at 160 kilos. That moved very well, but I just didn't feel super confident in my technique and my execution. So despite the bar speed and everything being quite good, I, in my own body, wasn't feeling fantastic. So it made me feel frustrated, and that's something I need to work on in the coming weeks, just making sure I get my technique dialed in, more mobility work. I think I need to work on my arch again. It just felt like I was benching with more range of motion and with a different shoulder position than normal, and it just wasn't my normal bench technical execution, and that doesn't make me very happy. Then on deadlift, I ended with a 3x3 at 250, and the bench will stay the same for next week. I should add, just the 4x7 at 160. There's no real fatigue from that session. And if I can dial in the technique, there'll be even less fatigue. Then the deadlift was a 3x3 with 250 kilos. No issue whatsoever. I smoked through that. I took 1.5 minute rests or something like that, and I was trying to hurry up. And so I got through that quick and easy. I think that I might drop that to 240 next week, just because it's supposed to be a very non-fatiguing week, but I'll see how I feel. Might just do it with 250 again. And then Wednesday I didn't train, and then today is today. So that was the week in review. Feel like it was a very good week, and a good week leading up to my heavy SBD that I have to now take today. And we'll see how that goes. And I'm feeling quite confident that my strength is in a good place, so we'll see today. Okay, bye.